Recently, a man was tasered in Olmos Park by police for illegally openly carrying a rifle. Do you believe that you should be allowed to openly carry a rifle, and were the officer's actions justified?
Well, first off, let's correct the record. CJ Grisham was tased when he was lawfully carrying a handgun in a holster. A handgun that he had a concealed, well, a license to carry, that the police chief in Olmos Park knew that he had a license to carry because they had an extended conversation the day prior on the phone. What we saw in Olmos Park was a travesty of justice. It was untrained police officers that did a terrible job of serving that community. That community is going to pay a big bill because of those civil rights violations that they had not been willing to look closer at. With a long gun, sure, carry a long gun. It's legal in Texas. But let's just be honest. We just saw two men brutally thrown to the pavement, both of them given concussions, by law enforcement officers that did not have the proper training. The chief of police over there did not have the proper training. So the question becomes, who's going to let that improper training, that poorly trained officer escalate the next circumstance? And we're going to see a tragedy across the nation like we've seen in other places. We need to be serious about expecting the highest level of order and discipline from our law enforcement officials.
I think we have to look at the facts of what happened in Olmos Park. If the officer tased somebody just out of the blue, that's wrong. That's inappropriate unless he was felt threatened for his safety, which could be the case with the circumstances. But my understanding is what escalated into the tasing was the subsequent conduct by this man, Mr. Grisham, a convicted felon, that caused the tasing, not the gun situation. So we need to be careful on what the facts are.
I need to correct the record on this. To slander a conservative Republican activist that has been on the ballot to run and serve his country in the State House, that is an Army veteran, to slander him and saying he's a convicted felon. He has a license to carry, which he would not be able to have if he was a convicted felon. That is just slanderous, and you owe CJ Grisham an apology. You owe this audience an apology for misleading them. Shame on you.